Marshmallow, and you are, well, you're you. Hello, you. Welcome to Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting, where art takes a twisted turn. Come on, join me as we bring to life chilling designs and spooky masterpieces, one drill at a time. Like, subscribe, grab your drills, and let's get ready to create something dark and dazzling. Let's paint the darkness together. Come on, let's go. Oh, you guys, let's sit down for a whip and chat. Excitement. This is pretty much how I left everything about 4 days ago when the weather storms started rolling in and didn't stop for 4 days. Anyone who has been like watching the news, turned on the TV anytime in the last 4 days, anyone who lives in the South, the deep South, the South, central and central Midwest area, all throughout here. I mean, all the way from the bottom to the top of the country, you've probably been impacted by the storms. And if you haven't, you've at least heard about them, I'm sure. All these tornado outbreaks, 4 solid days straight of just crap weather, real dicey stuff. But today, day 5, partly cloudy, sunny later, really, really cold. We went from 80s down to 40s, but okay. Really cold and stuff. But guys, no tornadoes, no thunderstorms, no torrential rain, residual flooding, but no new flooding, no, nothing adding to the cuckery. So yeah, finally can relax on the weather front and sit down and resume my diamond painting. Yay! We were working on Sundown the Sewer Monster by Rokkari, 50 by 50 square drills. That's what, and this, this is where I dropped everything when the tornadoes started coming. Boom! Dropped it all. Here's where I was. I don't even remember, what I was doing. I have some drills in the tray. We've got, okay, we're working on hashtag, and our pins with multi-placers are here. So literally had dropped everything and haven't had a chance to diamond paint since. And we're going to talk about the weather. Do you guys mind? I know you've probably heard so much about the weather, but and some of you have been sharing the experiences with me on Facebook and a little bit on the community tab, but you've been able to see kind of a little snippets here and there about what we've been going through weather-wise. But I don't know. I mean, now that we have a clear day and I have a chance to decompress and not have to constantly be listening to the weather reports, we can talk about it a little bit. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's whip and chat. Let me get set up and we'll dive in. Yee! Okay, let me get us straightened out. There we go. I think we're good. Excitement. Ready to get back in. I had to do a few plops myself just to make sure I remembered how to diamond paint. After having, it's so weird when you have gone almost a year and a half of pretty much a day. I mean, I might have skipped a day or two here or there, but I don't normally go 4 straight days without doing a gosh dilly darn thing on a canvas of any kind or a coaster or something. So I was like, oh my gosh, where are the training wheels? I need to relearn how to diamond paint. But no, we're here. We got it. I got it. I'm ready to go. I hope you're ready to go. Are you ready to go? Let's do it. Hi. Hello. I first gotta kind of be serious for a second. I want to hear from you. Roll call, if you will, in the comments. Anyone affected by, or anyone who knows anyone who was affected by the storms of the past 4 days. roll call. Are you here? Are you okay? Is everyone you know and love okay? I hope so. I hope so. Let us know. Were you affected by the storms? And how'd you fare? Everything all right? Because I'm going to tell you about my experience over the last 4 days with these Mother Nature. Mother Nature was a little sousy. She was a little sousy this week, was she not? Saucy enough to where, like, I could not diamond paint. So, it takes quite a bit. I mean, you saw, I think in the last video, one of the last videos, I diamond painted pretty much through a tornado nearby. I was just like, cool story, bro. Let me know if I need to, like, duck and cover. Until then, I'm busy diamond painting. But no, this was, like, serious enough to be like, you know, all hands on deck. This storm, at least for my area of northeast Arkansas, raged on for 4 days straight. 4 days straight. And it wasn't just some rain. It wasn't like, oh, itty poo. Okay, what is happening? Drip. It's AB drills. Stop it. Behave. Behave. But no, we had 4 days straight, non-stop onslaught of just atrocious, egregious, unforgiving, unrelenting, freaking uncaring weather. It was downright despicable. Hopefully it wasn't as bad for all of you, any of you, everywhere, anywhere. Oh my gosh. For my friends here, if you're watching and you lived, I don't know what it was like. Listen, I care about what's going on elsewhere outside my regional zone, but it was so bad here that I could not be focused on other regions. It was high alert, all hands on deck, paying attention to our local weather. So I didn't really catch a whole lot of what was going on elsewhere. If your area was covered on Ryan Hall, y'all, I can say I saw it because I watched so much Ryan Hall, y'all, that my eyes, listen, I don't know him, obviously. I do not have personal acquaintance with Ryan Hall, right? But I feel like I do. I feel like he's family. I feel like that man doesn't even know it, but he's been living rent-free in my house for 4 days.
I feel like he's been at a 4-day barbecue.
He's been at a 4-day barbecue. Yeah, he you know, I am so tired. I'm so tired. I haven't, well, I can't say I haven't slept. I mean, because I'm human. Yes, I have. But it's been little sporadic short bursts of naps. We've been taking it in shifts because, holy smokes. It started Wednesday, and if you guys have watched recent videos, I think it was, what the heck was I working on that day? What was I working on that day? I was working on something, and I was, kitting up. I was kitting up this canvas. That's right. Yeah. So I was kitting up this canvas, and, you know, tornadoes started springing up everywhere, like all around. I even snuck some footage in for you guys, and matter of fact, like, you could probably, if you listen real good, you could probably hear a snippet or, you know, or catch a glimpse of some Ryan Hall, y'all. I couldn't be helped. It was on every screen in our house, so that no matter what room we were in, it was even on our fridge, y'all. See, y'all, I'm even talking like him. Oh my gosh, stop it. But yeah, he was everywhere. Everywhere you turned in our house, there was Mr. Y'all. So or I guess Mr. Hall, right? But thanks, Ryan Hall, y'all. Shout out. I'm sure you watch diamond painting channels and totally heard that. um, I did hear from a lot of you guys during this past few days that you are also fans of Mr. Ryan Hall, y'all. I tell you what. I tell you what. I knew on day one, Wednesday, when this all started, that he was going to be the he was going to be the rock star. Okay, that's when it solidified it for me that he was a weather rock star because I knew things were getting dicey outside. I could hear it. I diamond paint right in front of a window. I could hear it. I could see it. And it was kind of crazy because what started like my my sleep deprived freaking high stress spiral into storm anxiety like I said, started on Wednesday when, things were getting dicey weather wise, and it seemed like the storm pocket, like there was like a storm cell or whatever, the little blob on the Doppler, and it passed and it went by, and like you behind it, nothing coming our way, completely clear Doppler on our local weather app, completely clear for a while. There was some stuff way off there, a couple hours away, that was gonna come and slam us, but between what had just passed and like what was coming, nothing. Clear skies, right? Sundown and Leah, they were like they're weather storm junkie people, and they wanted to go like see if they could see what the back end of this big like storm, nasty gnarly thing that was leaving the area. They wanted to kind of go take a peeky poo drive and see the storm from behind it, what it looked like, the lightning, the dark clouds, like what did the clouds look like, what was the lightning, check our local area, see if there had been any damage near our home and stuff like that, just in case, because it did, like I said, it got a little dicey, but it blew by. And so I said, let me check the Doppler. And I checked the Doppler. What I should have done is check Ryan Hall, but I checked the Doppler for the local weather people, and it was like, hey, clear skies for a while. You're in the clear. All good. Go on ahead. Go about your business. So I said, go ahead, y'all, go. They loaded pupper schnups up in the car, and then daughter went on a sort of storm chaser. I mean, technically they were chasing the storm that had already blown by, and trying to catch the the back end of it to see, see what all the hubbub was about and stuff like that. I mean, just harmless, like, let's look at the lightning, let's look at the clouds, because Mother Nature is beautiful. I'm sorry, even with the nasty weather and some of the scary, terrible, destructive things that it can do, it's awesome. In that, not awesome like, oh my god, that's so cool. Awesome is in awe-striking, awe-inspiring, just awesome. You know what I mean? And so I couldn't blame them. We stand outside or sit outside out on the deck or on the patio, and we often watch storms as they come through the area and stuff like that. As long as we're not like in danger, from being out there, we like to watch the clouds roll in and hear the thunder rumble in the distance, get closer and closer, feel the cool rain plop down on our faces and stuff. I think most of us like that kind of stuff. It's soothing, it's awe-inspiring, it's fascinating, can be really beautiful. And so yeah, we were You were watching and stuff, and they wanted to go see. Sent them on their way. They were gone less than 3 minutes. Okay, they barely made it off of our country hick podunk sticks. Am I putting the drills in the wrong place, Mushmallow? Okay, no. Before I had to call because they left. I waved, bye now, bye. Be safe, be careful, be home before the next storms roll in a couple hours. Okay, bye. And I'm like, okay, yay, diamond paint. And I'm walking back through the house, and one of the 50,000 screens that has Mr. Hall on it, he was on there like, you guys, you're hearing it here first, tornado on the ground, 8 miles from Mushmallow. Excuse me. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mr. Hall? I'm sorry, what? Is this like, I had to grab the remote and I'm like, wait, are you like, were you paused and you just like unpaused? This is from like 30 minutes ago or something? I can understand. Nope. It was right then. And he continued to say, yeah, it's about eight-ish miles from Mushmallow's house and heading straight for Mushmallow's house on the road, like pretty much observing the rules of the road and driving itself kind of down the road that Sundown and Leah are driving on toward it. They're like playing chicken. Tornado and Sundown and Leah playing chicken. And the thing is that there was nothing on our local Doppler. Otherwise, I would not have let them out of the house. Are you kidding me? No. But he was like, and he was saying the National Weather Service hasn't even picked this up, you guys. If you can hear me, take shelter, McGurr, and like ringer, all this stuff. And I'm like, I was watching the footage of it form on the TV screen, seeing my, country area, my neighborhood on the screen with a tornado reaching down from the sky. And I'm like, they don't know. Nobody knows. Because, like, Ryan Hall had said, like, hey, even the National Weather Service hasn't picked this up. The Doppler, like, wasn't showing anything. Like, this is out of nowhere. And all that stuff. And I'm like, ee. So I call Sundown and I'm like, turn around, come home. And he said when he saw that my number came up on the phone, he instinctively knew. He like just turned around. He was already turning around when he answered the phone. And he's like, what's happening? What's going on? And I said, there's a tornado just on the other side of Small Town. And it's like pretty much driving down the road straight at you. Can you please bring yourself, our child, and our putty dotty back home, please? And he was like, I'm already on it. I'm already turning around. I don't see anything, but, I knew when you called that there was something. I just had a feeling. So we're already turning around. And I'm like, good. I'm like, how far are you? I don't know if it's safe for you to come home. Their tornado is allegedly kind of driving down the same road you are, right, toward you. And he was like, no, we're not quite to that road yet. And I was like, thank goodness, get home. And they came back home. And then after that, it was just tornado after tornado after tornado after tornado after tornado. Put that on repeat about 4 days. So, yeah, spicy, dicey, icky wicky, nasty wasty. In fact, even if you don't live in the area, if you've turned on the national, I think it's made national news. If you've turned on like the news, you have probably seen stories mentioning the Lake City tornado. If that sounds familiar to you, you guys, Lake City is not far from here at all. In fact, that particular tornado, I believe, was also Wednesday night, and it was on the ground. the storm cell had produced a tornado that made landfall, and it was on the ground. And before it got to us, it got sucked back up into the clouds, right? It died. It kind of fizzled. But they said, oh, I said, this storm pattern signature or whatever, it's going to drop back down, you guys. It's very highly likely it's going to drop back down. Da 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 da. And I think that one was the one that started in a town called Truman. I think that was outside of Truman, which is medium town, about 10 miles from us. So somewhere between us and the town Truman, 10 miles from us, it plopped down on the ground and was like, and then it went back up until it got past us. And then it went back down and turned into this like big, they called it a wedge tornado, a big wedge. And it took out the entire, if I'm not mistaken, it took out pretty much the entire town of Lake City, Arkansas. Not a big town, but still people lived there. And it was that, now I'm being serious though. It was devastating. I know it's been on our local news a lot. I know it's been circulating on all the TikToks, the YouTubes, the Reels, the everything, Facebook. It's kind of been everywhere I've seen, come across my eyeballs. I don't even know a guy named Paul, so I don't know why eyeballs came out of my mouth, but so that's when I was like, this is going to be real bad. This multi-day system, we're in for a hurtin'. And yeah, it just continued a non-stop onslaught of just literally, it's like tornado palooza, you guys. Luckily where we live is kind of in a, Sundown described it to me as like a bowl essentially, but like a big, kind of live in almost like a little crater. We got hills around us, and it almost acts as some kind of like shelter a little bit from a lot of storms and tornado-y things. It doesn't, I don't know how all of it factors in, but we live down in a dip, and it seems to protect us somehow in most cases. I'm sorry, little break there. I just took a little weather lesson from Sundown, a tornado lesson, and I'm supposed to tell you this. What I needed to say, instead of we live in a bowl with hills around us, the correct term is a valley. I'm sorry. Sorry. We live in a valley. And the reason why it seems to be sort of kind of protects us is because tornadoes, when they like are zoop zoop zooping on the ground, they don't normally follow the like contours of the geography. So that's why they tell you, if you're in a car and a tornado's coming, get out of your car, but get in a ditch is like one of the best places for you, which that would be arguable in this last 4 days because the ditches were flooded, you drown. But I'm just okay, let's just say, whatever. Aside from those rare occasions where going and hiding in a ditch from a tornado means that you're in 3 feet of water, drowning, not a good idea. Right. But generally, the general rules, if you are, a tornado pops upon your roadway path and you have no alternative shelter, it's worse to stay in the car, and it's best to get out of said car and like get into a ditch. That's a better option than car. And that is because if the tornado is going and it comes across this dip in the land or whatever, zoop zoop zoop, it's gonna go over the top of it. That's why they tell you to get in a ditch. You're a little bit safer because you're under the level land. You're down in that dip, and the tornado's not going to be like dipping down in there to get you. It's just going to go right over the top of you, in theory, right? Okay. So, same thing with kind of where we live. We live in a dip. We live in a ditch, you guys. Okay. We live in a ditch. Okay. No, we live in a valley, and it works the same principle, I guess, in theory, for the most part. Don't quote me. I'm not an expert. But yeah, so we were pretty sheltered from a majority of things like that. But they were popping up, literally popping up 8 miles, 10 miles, 11 miles from us, and just all around us. All around us. It was a nightmare. So stressful. And you guys, I don't often like to kind of be a Debbie Downer and bring like too much specific stuff, like medically stuff like this in here, but I think, you know, it's worth noting, at least because it was of extreme concern to me and my family during these last 4 days. High stress, right? Highly stressful, turbulent weather, and you know, personal stuff too. And we have a farm, you know what I'm saying, with poultry. We have livestock, and we had just gotten one of our half acre plots, quarter acre plots, planted not too long ago, and then all this popped up in the weather forecast, and we're like, well, that sucks, because, you know. So we had things like, and ourselves, our safety, our own personal safety, our property safety, our livestock safety, our livelihood with the farm crops and stuff. It was very and like I said, then I did have some interpersonal issues that really kind of contributed to the stress too. And but the more important stuff was like the real life stuff, you know what I'm saying, the fear of all these storms and stuff. And I just recently got out of the hospital, where I was admitted for having my third transient ischemic attack, TIA, aka mini stroke. I don't, it depends on how long you've been around or how many videos or what kind of videos you watch, but you may have caught glimpses, or I might have flat out shown you my war wound from the IV line that was in and stuff when I was admitted to the hospital and whatnot. They had to do CT scans and MRIs and whatnot with contrast and stuff. So and I needed fluids and things. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I needed help, and the IV helped me, and it hurt me. It left a big old wound there, big old nasty bruise. But anyway, yeah, I had just recently gotten out of the hospital from being treated for a mini stroke. And I don't know if anyone knows or cares, but I'm gonna tell you. And if you don't want to listen to it, skip ahead, or whatever you gotta do. But it is my understanding, having had 3 of these now, that the most dangerous time for a person to be for I guess the most dangerous time post transient ischemic attack is the first 24 hours, and it lightens up over time, but essentially for the next year you are at an increased risk. But as the year goes on, it diminishes, over time, the risk level. But the closer you were in time to having the mini stroke, the more at risk and danger you are of having another or a bigger stroke, like an actual like disabling, debilitating stroke, or even a life ending stroke. So a stroke event, okay? And I had been educated upon my discharge from the hospital. Listen, lady, listen. Keep your stress levels low, okay? Just keep chill. Keep chill. Blood pressure, salt, yeah, all the normal stuff they tell you, but like, it is vitally important, especially in the next coming weeks, that you stay chill and you relax and rest and all that stuff, because you're in the danger zone, an increased heightened risk of follow-up secondary stroke event, so chill out, lady. And I was like, okay. Okay. So then I go home, and it's hard to stay calm when you have like literally a 4-day onslaught of never ending cuckery like that. You know what I'm saying? We took shifts. I mean, most of it we spent together, most of the time together, but we did do our due diligence, and we stayed awake pretty much all night, every night, until we would nap when Mr. Hall would say that, we were pretty clear for a little bit, but that was far and few between. Sundown took watch while I took naps. I tried to take watch while he took naps, but I think he got less sleep than me, if we're being honest. It was highly intense and stressful. And then it was like that for the first 2 days were the worst, tornado-wise. The third day was pretty gnarly too. It was a mix of just severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, and then the rain. The rain came. This was not just any rain, my friends. This was like biblical. It was making me think, were we supposed to build an ark type of rain? I'm like, do we start gathering our animals 2 by 2 and stuff, because it wasn't just rain. This was like somebody moved our area under a waterfall, Niagara Falls, for a day and a half, for a full day and a half, nonstop. We did get some thunder boomies and I think a couple sporadic tornado warnings, but all in all, the tornado-y part had moved along out of our region, and it was just mostly severe thunderstorms and a whole bunch of rain. A literal metric, it was more than a metric poop ton. It was several metric poop tons of rain. So bad that by, what is today? Sunday? Yesterday would be Saturday then. Saturday morning, my daughter was supposed to go to work. And so Sundown went to go check the roads, like to see how floody, because we were getting flood warnings, and there were even some towns in our area that were being put on curfew. You heard me. Entire towns being put on a curfew like children because the flooding was so rampant and everything, and so life-threatening. There were literally running waters, rivers where there were no rivers, rivers where there were supposed to be roads, folks. There were oceans where there were supposed to be grocery stores, where grocery stores were under the ocean. So it was crazy flooding. So yeah, but we weren't really getting specific information. Everybody was talking about these couple of towns in the area that were getting put in timeout and curfewed and whatever. for the flooding, but we weren't really getting any definitive, clear ideas of what specifically was happening in our local, super local, targeted area. You know what I'm saying? So Sundown did the good daddy thing, and he went out ahead of Leah to check her route to work, just to see, is there any danger? How are the roads? Now, mind you, it's still torrential downpouring at this point. It never stopped. The rain didn't stop for 2 full days. Did not stop Niagara Falls level pouring upon us. Okay, and when he left, there was some of our driveway was questionable. We do live out in the country, so it's a dirt driveway. Haven't really seen the need or wanted to pay the expense of having it paved as long as it is. It's a really long driveway. How long would you say our driveway is? Is it a quarter mile?
Our driveway?
Yeah.
792 feet, I think.
792 feet ish, give or take, long driveway. I don't know what that converts to in like meters or whatever, but anyway, 792 feet ish of driveway to another dirt road that leads to a paved road. So yeah, we just have never needed to, nor have we wanted to incur the expense of paving our driveway. But this, I don't know, this storm might have taught us a little lesson about maybe what our next savey, spendy might need to be. Because it kind of was already starting to wash out our driveway, wash out the dirt road that our driveway leads to, but it was still traversable when he left in the morning, yesterday morning. And he went into town, and he was like, it's, the ditches, the drainage, the whatever is getting really full on both sides. It's like level with the road, but so far the roads seem pretty clear in terms of and I'm like, okay, well, she doesn't leave for another 3 or 4 hours, and the rain isn't supposed to stop, so it might be clear now, but I don't know about later. How are we gonna know about later? And he's like, well, I'll go out and look again later. I'm like, okay, be safe, be careful, run your errands, and then get home, please. And he did so. He called me on the way back home, and he said, I just had to call the police. And I'm like, my God. Of course, my first thought is, are you okay? What happened? Oh my gosh. I figured some dummy couldn't drive in the rain and whatever, and maybe hit the car, hit him, hit something, I don't know. And he said, because I can't get home. I'm like, what? What'd you say? Why can't you come home? He said, well, because in the short time I've been gone since I last talked to you, you know how I said the roads were the water was getting high on the sides, and the ditches were full and stuff, but actually there was no water on the road. Like, yeah. He said, there's water on the road. I can't drive through it. It's too deep. There's no road. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I had to take the really long way. I had to call the police and report that there's only 2 ways that we can, one road, 2 different directions, so let's just say, we live in a spot, but you can either come on this one paved road from, I don't know, pick a direction, the south, to get to our dirt road that leads to our dirt driveway that leads to our home, or you can come from the north on that same road and come down to our dirt road, to our dirt driveway, to our home. But there's it's one road is the only way to get to our dirt road, to our dirt driveway, to our home. You know what I'm saying? It's one road. You can only come from one of 2 directions. That's it. There's no other back roads. There's no other little access, nothing. No, that's it. And he said, the main way home the main way home. Let's just pick whatever direction it is. I honestly don't. I'm not good with directions, but it's over there. So let's call it south. The way home from south, the quickest, easiest, normalest way home onto the little highway or paved road or whatever from the south is completely engorged in water. It's underwater. I'm not driving the car through that. You have a low sitting car. Other people are turning around. It's that deep. There's a river between me and the next spot of dry pavement, and I don't know what's beyond that. It could be more water. So I had to call the police, report the road drowning, and then being washed out, and then try to get to the circle around all through wherever and find a way to get to come onto the paved road from the north so that I can come home. And he's like, that road. He's like, let me call you back. I gotta call the police. Like again. And he's like, yeah, the direction, this same road, but from the other direction is about to go under. I'm like, what? And he's like, here, I'm gonna take pictures. And he took pictures, and then he called the police. Ooh, wrong symbol, mushy. Stop. That was almost bad. Don't do that. A $sign and an ampersand are not the same. They don't even look the same. Stop trying to make them the same. They are not the same. Okay, sorry. This is me talking to my diamond painting pen. Okay. Anyway, so he did all that. He did his due diligence, reported it to the authorities, and managed to get by before the road fully washed out, and was able to get home. Had he stayed out another 10 minutes, he might have been blocked from coming home until today. So that was interesting. And I'm glad he came home when he did, and he barely beat the tide as it washed over the road. But yeah, even a matter of minutes difference in his timeline this morning, and he would not have been able to come home to his family for the day and for the night. But he made it home, but it was like a one-way ticket. Once he crossed that threshold, there was no going back. There was no turning, there was no going back. So he made it through the little standing water that was there and growing by the moment, and made it home. And once he got home, when he was on his way home, he's like, our dirt road leading to our house is about to be washed out, also impassable. It's gonna be dicey getting down the road. And I'm like, oh. And then he got to our driveway, and he was like, we used to have a driveway. When I left, and an hour ago, it was visible and traversable, and now it is water. We need a boat. He did get the car down the drive and but then that was it. We were all stuck here. We were all stuck at our house, and that's stressful when you have medical conditions that often proven to necessitate the need for ambulatory services and or emergency access to town, to not your house, to get emergency medical help. Just the thought of not having the ability, like if I have any one of us has a medical emergency in the next however long it takes for this water to recede, we're SOL. I mean, literally, the roads are underwater. Get out your boat. Row your boat kind of underwater. And help is not going to be easily, readily, quickly available. Super scary. Highly stressful in a time when I'm supposed to be staying chill so that I don't, have any more brain events. And yeah, so that's how we spent yesterday. And then he did, we were seeing news reports, and he did try to venture out one more time um, later on, and he was able to traverse our driveway and carefully our dirt roadway, which was questionable. But then once he got to the paved road, the authorities had blocked it all off with their little barricades with the blinking lights and stuff in both directions. So, like, even if you wanted to be stupid and brave and stupid, I don't know, is it brave, is it stupid, it's a little, bravely stupid, you and wanted to try to, no, it was barricaded off by the authorities. And then we got an alert later in the day. I'm not diamond painting, what am I doing? I'm just playing with my hand. I'm sorry. Why don't I actually diamond paint instead of play with my hands? I'm so sorry. Later in the day, we got the notification from the county that the road to the only way that we have to get in or out from our home area had been completely blocked off by authorities and deemed unsafe and unusable and intraversable for the foreseeable future. And so Leah got another day off. I think she got ended up, because of the weather, my daughter got 4 days off from work. 4 days. The first day, Wednesday, everything in town closed, in big town. I mean, like, big deal. Schools let out early in anticipation of the weather incoming. Schools let out early. Businesses were closing early and sending people home. She was supposed to work, but they said, listen, we're closing early. There's no point in you coming in just to turn around and go back home within the hour, so just stay home. So she got Wednesday off, and the weather was still extremely bad, and the Lake City thing had just happened, and there was damage, like, in town too, because of the winds and stuff. And so they were like, yeah, we're not open, we're closed, stay home. So she got the day off again from both of her jobs. Same thing the third day. Not safe. Stay home. And also flooding. And then yesterday, she got the day off. She got the day off from work. And I think I'm right. I think she got all 4 days off, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, or she at least got 3 of the 4 days off, something like that. But the yesterday, she had to submit pictures in to her bosses. She didn't have to, but she felt better doing it to prove. So she sent them the pictures that Sundown took from the road, and I'll put them in the video here if you're curious what it looked like at, I think it was 9 or 10 a.m. and she was going to be leaving at 1 p.m. to head into work. So you can imagine, if it looks like this now, you can imagine what it was going to look like a couple hours later with torrential rain pour. And it's a good thing, because by the time she was supposed to have left for work, the authorities had already blockaded our road, and she couldn't have gone anywhere anyway. So we were trapped anyway. So but yeah, it was that bad. So she got another day off from both of her jobs, which honestly, kind of happy about it, because she needed it. She's been working a lot of doubles between the two jobs, and she had just been scheduled for like 9 or so days with no days off, no full days off anywhere. And most of those shifts were doubles, and I just felt like awful for her. She's been so tired and hurting, physically just hurt and stuff. And I was glad that she had an excusable reason to be home and resting and get kind of rejuvenated. But the downside is that's 4 days of 2 jobs worth of money that she kind of is going to be missed out on. You know what I'm saying? So, double-edged sword, you know. Yay, but boo, but yay, but boo. And here we are, finally on the other side of the nastiness. And at least from what I can tell, and we're enjoying our first day in 4 days of no house shaking thunder booms, no property threatening straight winds and high winds, and no rain so heavy that like you can't see and it's flooding roads. The roads were cleared up enough this morning to where the authorities took the barricades down and she was able to go to work. Sundown was able to run into town and back, but all day yesterday, nope. Roads were rivers. So things are kind of subsiding, calming down, getting through, and I think we just have pretty much cold, mild weather for the foreseeable forecast. Our flock, they made it. Everybody made it. Everybody's fine. That was part of like why couldn't you diamond paint if it was storming? Perfect time to sit down diamond. But no, y'all, we have a farm, with livestock, and as the things were happening and weather reports were shifting and conditions were worsening, we had to take action. And we were constantly going outside, checking on our flock. Our cameras were down because of it. You couldn't see anything. It was raining so heavy, and the wind and the debris and all that stuff was all so bad that even though we have security cameras out there, you couldn't see through them really. Does that make sense? Like it was, the visibility was zipper zilch zip nada nope. So we had to like physically put eyes on the birds, do head counts and all that stuff, visibly check and make sure everyone was okay. So we had to keep doing that every hour or so, even through the worst of some of the storms. I mean, you do what you got to do to protect your livestock. We were dealing with that and any kind of repairs that needed to be made on the fly for their safety, damage from the storms and the water and stuff. Anything that popped up, we were fixing that stuff. We were getting heat lamps out there for them to, because they were being stupid birds, getting wet and then getting cold, and they needed somewhere, they needed their winter lamps on. And we thought we were done with winter, so we had put our winter heat lamps away, and had to in the middle of all that cuckery, had to get them out, get them set up, and try not to electrocute ourselves in the process, just to keep them alive. I don't know if we've mentioned it. I think we've mentioned it on maybe Facebook, in our Facebook group, but I don't think. Okay, listen. Why does every canvas steals a piece of my hair like it's a freaking movie witch who needs a lock of my hair to cast a spell? Stop it. Oh my gosh. All these canvases. I literally have a piece of me in every single canvas that I have done, and every single canvas in my home, on my walls, in its portfolio under the bed. It doesn't matter where they end up. Every single canvas I've done has literally a piece of me in it, in the form of a hair somewhere interwoven. Please tell me I'm not alone, you two. Okay, good. But yeah, we have geese. You guys, we have geese. We got 2 of them. They're Chinese geese. They are a type of swan. They are domesticated, so they're friendly. They're not the kind that like chase you and honk and bite and nip and whatever. They're friendly, and they're beautiful. If I have a picture, I'll put one up for you so you can see the geesies. And then it made me think, like, I don't know, because there's an old saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? And so basically, you know what the saying means, like, what's good for, if you're okay to do it, I'm okay to do it too. It's like some kind of weird justification, usually for bad behavior. You know what I mean? Like, well, you did this naughty bad thing, so because if you can do that to me, I can do it back to you. Kind of some childish schoolyard type of justification to act poorly because somebody else acted poorly first. You did it first. You started it. You know what I mean? That's how I always viewed that saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander type of thing. Or another way of looking at it is maybe like if you dish it out, you should be able to take it or something. I don't know. But it got me thinking, like, that's when my daughter said I'm coming home. I bought 2 geese. We now have gooses. I was like, that saying popped into my head, and then I got to thinking, so she brought me from I've got geese. We now have 2, new gooses or goose, whatever. And then I got what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And then I went from there to what's a gander? Is that a real animal? Is that like another name? Is like a girl goose a goose and a boy goose a gander or something? Huh. What's a gander? I mean, I know to gander is to look, but I don't think it's the same context. Stand by. I have to find out. Yes, I had to pause. We could look into it. Gander is normally like the definition and most common use of the word is look, but it was actually also another name for a gander, or another definition of gander is the long neck of a male goose. But still, like, I don't understand how that makes sense. Like, what's good for the goose is good for his long neck. That doesn't make sense for the context of the saying. You know what I'm saying? So, do you guys know? Leave me in the comments below. Like, is a gander like the sex of a goose? Like, what's good for the goose being like the male goose is good for the gander? Is that a female goose? Or like, what's good for the goose female, gander male? Either way, it's what's good for the goose's body is also good for his long neck. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just being dumb. But I guess I don't understand the saying, because I don't understand the definition of gander in the context of the saying. And I can't seem to easily find an answer that makes sense. So if you happen to know, let me know. But I understand the saying. I understand what the saying means. I understand what it implies. I understand that the common definition of gander is look or a long neck, but I don't understand it as it applies within the saying, like contextually. I understand it out of context, but it doesn't make sense in context. And when something is taken out of context and does not mean, does not make sense when it's in context, that must mean there's another definition or explanation. So I just can't figure it out. If you know, let me know, and then I'll know, and then we'll all know, and it'll be great because we'll know together. Thank you. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's pretty much been my last 4 days. I'm sorry we missed a Figure It Out Friday. I have not made any big progress on any of my canvases due to the weather and other extenuating circumstances, surrounding that kind of stuff, and just me trying to stay low key, which, let me tell you, I failed hard. There was lots of stress, so but thankfully, it didn't trigger anything nefarious in my noggin noodle. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's been something. It's been gnarly. It's been a gnarly few days. Um, and the and and I get to leave tonight. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. I get to leave. I mean, technically early Tuesday morning, but like Monday night. Somewhere between 11:30 and 11:30 p.m. Monday night, so tomorrow night, and 12:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. We are leaving. Say it with me, folks. Medical travel. We are going back up to St. Louis, and this time, it's all about me. Last time it was a sundown trip. This time it's all a mushy down trip. Yay. Oh, you'd think I'd be more excited, but this is all tests. All tests and one scary one scary conversation. And yeah. So that's gonna be a fun trip because I'm gonna be a nervous wreck. And first of all, because my first, and I'm sure I'll tell you guys about it in the travel vlog, but not everybody likes to watch those. So if you're curious, I'll tell you here now. Preview, sneak peek, leak, coming soon to a channel near you. So yeah, we get to travel all night in a car. It's 6 hours. Far as I can tell, hopefully the weather will be in our favor. I certainly hope so, because this is like a big deal trip for me. It's the start of a journey for me. We not we, we're not both gonna be put in there. Just me. I'm gonna be good luck getting an IV in. I don't know about anybody else. I heard a couple people comment about it, but I have those like deep set, teeny tiny, flat, roly poly, all the bad things that a vein can be. My veins are that, and they often have to use an ultrasound machine to get an IV in. I've been kind of discussion that multiple doctors have tried to convince me to get a port put in, but a port is not like the ideal for everything. So I'm just like, I'm not going to have a port put in if you're still going to try to go for a vein sometimes, so leave me alone. But yeah, they're gonna have to put an IV in because they're gonna put me in the tube of doom, you guys, which normally wouldn't be a big deal because I get MRIs every couple months for monitoring my liver tumors to check for signs of malignancy and growth and stability, make sure that they're not gonna rupture. Because I guess there's signs, like thin walls or something. I don't know these things. I just know that they tell me to do them for these reasons, so I do them. But yeah, MRI machines used to freak me out because I had never had many before. And then now that I've had so many every 3 months for a couple of years, I'm a pro. I'm hop right on in there. But usually the MRIs that I'm used to getting are only about 30 to 45 minutes, because all they're looking at is my liver, right? Generally, I mean, there's been times in the past where something is either seen or felt, and they need to get a picture, and a monster pops up in another place and they have to get a picture, so that's has been a one-off kind of thing. But the liver situation they monitor pretty closely, and I am used to it, so I'm like, no sweat off my balls. I'll hop in there. And they were like, so you're saying you're sure you're gonna be good for this? Do you need medication or anything? And I'm like, no. Why? Do you think I do? Like, what are you not telling me? And they were like, well, you do realize that this MRI is for your head, neck, and spine. We're going to be checking on your MS lesions, and we're going to be using a new protocol situation, like some kind of new MRI diagnostic protocol type of thing regarding MS, and they're also, going to be looking at my brain tumor. So they're going to look at my brain, my neck, and my spine. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, how long could that really take? Like, how long am I going to be in this machine? Click, take your picture. Let's go. And they were like, this is going to be a 2 to 2.5 hour MRI. Excuse me? I'm sorry, could you speak up? I didn't hear you. Did you say, I thought you said 2.5 hours, 2.5. That can't be right. That can't be right. I get MRIs quite often, and I am only in there about 30, 45 minutes. So what is this BS you're talking about? What is this? I think, are you kidding? April Fools? Ha 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 ha. No. No. I'm gonna be stuck in the tube of doom with I don't know, is that plastic, I guess? I know it's not metal, because you can't have metal in there. That plastic, guardy, cagey type thing that they put over the body part that's being MRI'd. Yeah, MRI'd. I'm gonna have one over my face. My head is gonna be in a cage in a tight little tube. It's claustrophobic in the first place. I'm sorry, trigger warning. It's claustrophobic in the first place. But then to have like the apparatus over the body part, and that body part be your freaking head and face. Yeah. Not only that, but because they're doing my neck and my spine too, guess what? Pretty much I'm going to be in a body apparatus situation. So I'm going to be in the, like, literally have like just confined in a, you know what I mean? I'm going to be confined within the confines of the tube of doom, aka MRI machine. I'm cool with it if I only have to endure it 30 to 45 minutes. I cannot tell you if I'm going to if I'm going to come out of that machine slobbering and speaking gibberish, because I have lost my mind after 2 to 2.5 hours in that machine. Being, with a pretty much a body cage on inside of a tight tube. I don't know if my coping mechanisms are going to be enough to get me through. I mean, they have to be enough to get me through the experience, because like, it's gonna happen. The experience is gonna happen. It's just a perspective. It's gonna happen. I can't avoid it. It's kind of like when you're pregnant and you're gonna have a baby, and like right before you have the baby, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but me, I started panicking, like, it's gonna hurt, and oh my gosh, I don't want that. Oh please, here come the contractions. No, take it back. I take it back. I unsex. I unconceive. I can't. I'm scared of this experience. I don't want to go through it. I'm done. Tap out. Take it back. I'm sort of feeling that way about the MRI experience, but regardless, I mean, like, once the labor has started, there ain't no going back. You can't like unconceive. You can't. Here's my receipt. I'm returning this little human because I'm too scared to pop it out. No, it's coming out one way or another. It's just a matter of how are you going to handle it? Are you going to buck up, or are you, what are you going to do about it? And for me, it's the same thing, like with the MRI machine. The experience is going to happen. It's just a matter of how am I going to cope with it. I know it sounds silly. It's just a machine. Just take a nap or whatever. Have you ever had an MRI? Are you able to take a nap? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not able to take a nap during an MRI. Okay. I cannot. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then after that, I literally have to hurry, rushy across to the Siteman Cancer Center and get some imaging done there, an ultrasound and such done over there. And then I have to rushy out of there and straight up to my oncologist's office to go over said images and reschedule all the surgeries and appointments that I reorganize those and get those back in order and in the calendar how they should be. Basically my treatment plan has to get redone because that whole situation with my ex and the whole insurance foobar scare situation. And so then I have to have that awful freaking planning session all over again and get set up to get surgeries on the situation and on the calendar, and radiation started and all that. And then I finally will get to come home. But it's going to be a long, scary, stressful, mentally taxing, crybaby, whiny butt mushy day. The whiny little mushy day. So, yeah. But on the plus side, silver lining, you'll likely get a travel vlog. So if you've been liking those, you'll likely get one. If you don't like them, I'm sorry. I can't diamond paint in the car, so it's the best I can do for you. And under most circumstances, I, for some reason, am not the greatest at banking videos. I need to figure out a way to be better at it. So then you could have an actual normal diamond painting content type of video instead of a travel vlog on a diamond painting channel. But I suck and I fail at banking videos. So I don't have one. I don't have one for you to watch while we're gone. And usually these trips knock me out. It's so physically and mentally exhausting. 6 hours up to St. Louis and 6 hours back, plus however long I'm in doctor's appointments. Or at sundowns and doctor's po, whoever's day it happens to be. And it's exhausting. So I'm usually pretty knocked out for a couple days after, and I'm not real excited to wake up, roll out of bed, and do anything, let alone film. They tease me over at the Crafty-ish Kristen community for being the grumpy Care Bear, the grumpy bear. You ain't seen nothing grumpy bear-esque in me until I don't get enough sleep. And yeah, you don't want a video of anything hosted by hosted by grumpy bear mushy. I mean, yeah, still a Care Bear, but the grumpiest of them. You don't want that. So yeah, well, you guys, yeah, that about took all the energy I had. It is now finish this section up on my own and take a nappy pappy. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I appreciate it. I definitely want to hear down in the comments below what, like, were you affected at all by the storms? I know some of you live in other countries, and so of course our storms didn't affect you directly, but like, did you see the news coverage? Do you have family in the States that maybe in the areas that were affected? Were you lucky enough to be able to not be impacted at all? What did you see about like all the weather that was popping up all over the country and the severity and stuff? Like, what are some of the things that you caught in the news that really struck you? Like I said, like the Lake City tornado has been all over the place, all over media and the news. We are hearing things positive come out of some of this, which is communities, rallying together and banding together as a united front and repairing and rebuilding with strength in numbers and a sense of real community, everybody caring about everybody else and together coming together to rebuild, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see, especially in today's society where a lot of times we're often divided, and instead of helping one another, we're trying to hurt one another or not care about one another. It's really nice to see when people do come together and genuinely care about each other, and work together to rebuild bigger and better and stronger than before. So let us know in the comments down below if you have any weather stories. How did a drill get stuck between my fingers there? I don't know. How did you fare? How did you weather? Is everybody okay? We need to know. Roll call, sound off, check in. Yeah, that's all I've really got for us today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had fun, and until next time, stay naughty.